How are you? Welcome to the show. This is our home talk from live and streaming from the mansion, and we are talking real estate on Facebook. So if you got any questions, post them in the comments. Sheila's monitoring Facebook so that you can ask any questions that you may want. And if you don't have any questions, that's okay because we got plenty to talk about today.
We always have plenty to say.
Yeah, it seems like it. All right. So what do you gonna start out with something or what? What's that?
This is a poop bag.
Okay. Perfect.
Why? Because whether you're inside or outside, it's time to think about some home cleanup, right? So I am dressed and ready today to go out and pick up some poop.
She'll be out picking up the poop. She's picking up the poop.
Right. Yes. So, I get my squats in, right? So exercise is one of our elements of our healthy home. Staying healthy in your home is one of the elements of exercising. So I like to think of my picking up poop as a little bit of exercise, doing my squats. I use 2 bags, right? So I pick up the poop with this one and then I put it in here. And before we get started on
I just want to comment on that. Yeah. So that's so important because people are going and they're looking at houses now. If you have a pet dog out in the backyard and crapping in the backyard all winter long and you haven't had a chance to get out there yet, people want to walk out in the backyard and if they see a sea of dog manure, that can be a problem. We had a house one time that we had listed and they had 2 big Burmese mountain dogs, and they were having a gay old time all winter long. And the buyer actually wrote it in the purchase agreement that was one of the conditions for closing is that they had somebody come over there and clean it up because it looked like a barnyard.
And I was out showing houses and it was the winter, right? So I didn't realize I was, stepping in poop and it's dark outside, right? So we get in the car, and my car is heated, like I'll burn you out. And all of a sudden we're like, what's that smell? Well, it matters in the winter too. If you have your house for sale, right? Like if you know you're going to sell anytime soon, just be mindful of that and be picking it up. But it's the perfect time right now to be doing that. Okay. The other thing is to clean your windows and screens. Now, that is a job that we don't do. We will definitely hire that out, but it's definitely a job that we don't do every year. But do you suggest people to do it every year?
Well, I mean, it depends if do you like clean windows or not.
No.
If you like clean windows, then do it twice a year. But it's just something that when you're washing the windows yourself, what it does do is kind of like when you buy a car. At least when I get a car, I go and wash the car by hand. Because then I put my hands on every square inch of that vehicle and I can really see it. I see any rust spots or any dents or dings or whatnot on the car. Same thing when you're washing your windows. If you go and wash your windows, it gives you a hands-on opportunity to see every square inch of that window. And you can just make a couple of notes. Gee whiz, I better get out and get that window caulked, or that window's got maybe a little crack in it, or it's not sealing quite as it should. So perfect opportunity to get that. Or you can do what Sheila does and just leave them dirty.
Yeah. Hey, and another tip is service the air conditioner unit now.
I was out with this weekend because it was nice out. Sunday it was a little bit nice.
Okay.
I fired up the backpack blower and I thought, I'm just going to go after those AC units right now when things are dry and anything that was on there. It just blew right off of there. So it's a good opportunity to do it now. Don't wait until it's wet or raining or gets like cement on there.
Well, and what's going to happen is you're not going to do it. And then we're not going to even have a spring. We're just going to go from this to 80 degrees. And then you're going to fire it up. And then it's not going to work.
It's not going to work as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So start scheduling those things now. I mean, I don't know how, far out they are, COVID last year or whatever, probably like it was, I think a longer time, a longer wait, but so pick out a schedule and just take the top 5 things that you want to handle and just get those scheduled. You'll feel so good when you get them, at least just scheduled, get them on the books, right? And schedule them for the time that, your husband's going to be home.
Okay.
Right? Because no doubtedly there's questions every single time that you're at home, supposed to be dealing with something. And then I have to call Keith anyway and say, all right.
It's always something that we need.
Right. So good time to seal up your windows and doors, right? What do you think about touching up paint yet? Because, it's a little early for that, but you could at least assess the areas that need it. Go get the paint, be ready for it. Because as long as it's been above 50 degrees for 3 days in a row, then you can paint, right?
Right.
Okay.
Nighttime, 24 hours.
Okay. Spruce up the outdoor spaces. We have our front spruced up already for Easter and, of course, the summer activities that we're going to be hosting, because this extrovert is ready this year to party on, right? and have gatherings. So we've
huge party planned in May.
In May,
you'll
right?
Be hearing all about that.
Yeah. So I've got a new rug, and I freshened up my pillows. And I don't know, they were probably 5 years old. They were still doing the trick, but I just needed to freshen that up. And then a deck story. Okay. I want to tell a deck story while we're kind of on the outside maintenance thing.
Okay.
So I'm showing houses, and what your mind's a powerful thing. Remember that commercial? Your mind's a powerful thing.
No.
And okay, it's old. And so I had the lockbox was on the side door where there was a deck, and it was the old, dial lockbox.
Okay.
And I looked at the dial lockbox, and for some reason I just looked down, and the deck boards had quite a bit of space between them. And I thought, what if the key falls out of the lockbox and down into below the deck that I can't get to? Sure enough, literally it happened. I opened up the lockbox, and the key wasn't attached to the lockbox. So then it fell down in there. And needless to say, we did not get in to see the house that day. And, just a little bit of extra work for me to call the agent. Then the seller had to get the extra key, right? All of that. So there's reasons why when we list properties, it's one of the reasons, but many reasons why we have a intentional placement on where the lockbox goes. There is an intentional placement to that. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that your story?
That's my story.
Okay.
That's it.
Numbers game today, kids, because we all love the numbers game. Median sale price, $375,000. It's up 10 from last week.
I was going to say.
And homes for sale, 1,231. That's actually down 100 units. Townhomes for sale, 787. That's pretty much exactly the same as it was a week ago. Remember, these are numbers for the 7-county metropolitan area as of about an hour ago. New category this week, pending sales. I thought it was interesting.
Why did you pick that category?
Well, because it represents sales that have been made but are waiting to close. Okay. So I'm just curious about what that number was. It is right now 4,850. So 4,850 sales that are properties that have been sold. We're just waiting for the closing to happen. And we're going to start tracking that number because it gives us an indication of the flow through of the market, how many properties, because they all are in pretty much the same 30 to 60 days in there. So it gives you a good barometer of what the market is doing.
Do you think you should look back on last year, like this time for like next week?
It'd be a good project for you to do.
No, because you're the numbers guy. I'm not. I'm the fluff.
She's got lots of assignments for me.
I'm the fluff. I'm the talk. I'm the fluff. But yeah, I mean, do you think it'd be curious to see what we're pending last year at this time and the same? I mean, not
so curious.
Okay, I don't know.
All right,
just giving you some ideas.
So when to sell and when to buy is the question. So there was an article this morning about I got to admit something to you right now. I am a real estate nerd. I didn't think I was, but I actually am a nerd. So I am a nerd on three areas. I'm a nerd with real estate stuff. I read real estate articles every day. I'm reading real estate articles, and I didn't really pay much attention to it until this morning when I was writing this down. I thought, Keith, you're a dork, because I'm doing this research all the time. I'm a nerd on barbecue too, because I'll look at smokers. Oh, that's a nice smoker. So I'm kind of a nerd on barbecue as well, and on health and wellness. which I got that from this one here because I didn't think I was, but I'm watching videos on what kind of food I should eat and so forth. I mean, it takes a lot to maintain this. Gorgeous. Okay, so I digress. So when to sell and when to buy. So this morning I'm reading on the Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Journal. They had an article in there on the timing of properties coming on the market and when was the best time tracking through to get the most premium for your home. And as we suspected, the spring market is the strongest market. We know that, but it was interesting just to see the numbers. 3.9% premium if the house comes on the market at this time of the year versus coming on in June or later on in the season. Yes, ma'am.
What's the 3 point what?
3.9.
What is it in June?
Less than 3.9. So 3.9%. Well, I mean, I don't have a spreadsheet here with 75,000.
It looks like you do.
Numbers, no. So
You're a nerd, remember?
3.9%
You said it.
of a premium for coming on the market this time, depending on when winter ends. Now, that kind of is pretty much the same if it's running through March, April. That kind of area is good. March, April, and into May. So back end of March, all of April, first part of May. March is the highest home online viewing month out of the year, with online looking falling off as the weather improves. It drops really significantly as weather improves. No, I don't have the exact number of views.
I wonder why
I don't
March.
know. I just didn't have them. Oh, wow.
No, yeah.
Well, because weather gets nice, people go outside, they get distracted.
Okay.
Thursday is the best day to bring a house on the market. We've been doing that for years and years. Friday is the best, gets the most showing activity. Not showings like showings, but online viewing activity is on Friday. I suppose you're just coming in before the weekend and people are checking things out.
Well, they're getting their weekend ready for what they're going to look at, so they're planning, looking.
So spring is for sellers. Some markets never really slow down. The question begs the question, when's it good for buyer? The best time of year for a buyer is when you need to buy a house because it's really driven by what you need, not so much by timing. That's it for that one. I got another one here. Ready for this one?
Stat?
Sports in real estate. How much time we got here?
We have plenty.
Okay, sports in real estate.
So what do you mean by that?
For years and years, we were building in real estate and we were representing builders. So I was in a model 7 days out of the week. One time we were representing 4 different builders and 5 different developments. So we had a large team and I would go from development to development.
You loved it.
I did love it. And so we always had, television on or the radio on or something. So this morning I'm thinking in my another nerd moment, what is the best sport to have on TV or the radio during an open house or while you're in the model?
Can I guess?
Yes, you may guess.
Football.
So the best sports, we'll start from the worst. The worst sport to have on is hockey.
Ooh, really?
Yes. So I call it the open house test. So hockey is the worst sport. Why is that, you may ask? Because it's not possible to watch hockey at a busy open house. Hockey has way too much action.
Mm-hmm.
It demands your focus. So there's always something going on. It's a fast game. The result is people in the open house will be ignored or asked to leave because they're interrupting the game. So no hockey at an open house. The second worst, football. Almost the same reason as hockey, and it would be right up there even more if our team was any good. So usually by the end of the first half, you can turn your attention to the customers because most of the games have been blown out by that time. And because most games in our central division start at noon, you can kind of plan your open house for like that 2:00 hour when they've already been blown out. Yes, ma'am.
You don't even need to have the TV on when you're doing an open house for football because you know if they're winning or losing, because if people come in with their Vikings t-shirts on, you know that the game has gone south and they're coming to check out the open house before they go home.
And if they're doing well, there's no one at the open house.
Open house, right.
Third. Now we're coming to the second best sport, and that would be basketball. Now, basketball, there's really only about 10 minutes of a basketball game that's any good to watch. So it makes a good open house companion. The last 5 minutes of the first half, the last 5 minutes of the game are exciting. The rest of the game is, running back and forth, and it's rather boring. So that's a nice background noise to have on the screen during an open house. During those last 5 minutes, you might have a slight distraction, but not really much. And the best of all is baseball. So baseball
Nothing's happening.
is the perfect open house sport. The game will last for the entire open house or your entire shift at the model. It's a slow-paced game with pleasant music and commentary that makes for really good background noise. When you hear the crowd cheer, you can check in because they'll replay the thing 6 times from 3 different angles, so you never miss any of the action. When we were doing new construction, I always had a baseball game on. There seems like there's always one on. Didn't matter what team was on, just have the baseball game on, and it's a really nice background. I think better than music, actually.
Do you think you should have the TV on at all?
If it's on something like this, you shouldn't have it on watching a movie because that's a little annoying. But to have a sport on like this is good. Then I'm asked, I know what you're thinking. What about golf? What about soccer? What about lacrosse? What about tennis? What about all those other games? Minor sports. I think that golf, if you're watching a golf tournament, now if you're watching a couple of guys go around 18 holes for 4 hours, that's going to be boring. But when you're watching a golf tournament, I actually love watching golf because they have done such a wonderful job. No, it's not boring. They've done such a wonderful job of jumping from hole to hole. So you're always looking at the best stuff. You're always looking at someone teeing off or a great chip shot or a fantastic putt or something like that. It's never the same. So there again, it's almost like hockey. When you're watching golf, it's so riveting that you can't take your eyes off the screen. And so probably not a good open house option for that, although reruns of old Masters tournaments and things like that are actually pretty good to have on during an open house, especially in an upper bracket home.
Is that kind of like your Discovery Channel that you like to watch and fall asleep to? The same animals?
Perfect. Perfect. Yes, the gazelle leaps in the prairie looking for water.
All righty, whatever. Yes.
All right, so that's what I've got for today. What do you got? Anything more?
Okay, so I don't know. What do you think about garage sales? I think garage sales are going to skyrocket this year. I don't know why. It's just something I was thinking about. And maybe it's just because I was looking around and I have all this stuff that we're getting ready for these parties, right? And I was thinking.
I think of a garage sale every time I go into my pantry.
I was thinking, geez, there's all this stuff, but I know I'm getting ready for a big event. So I have one collection site in the house. But
who does garage sales? Does anybody do garage sales? Do we have garage sailors watching? Because you can get some good stuff on garage sales, and it may be someone else's junk. But I did a thing this morning on treasures on the senior moment, and I said, if you want to see treasures, this is kind of like a garage sale. Pull out your desk drawer and look in the back of your desk drawer. Or everybody has a junk drawer in their house. Open up the junk drawer. And if you don't think that's a treasure, then just take it out in the garage and dump it into the dumpster and let the garbage man haul it away. I bet you don't do it. Why? Because there's treasures in there, good stuff in there. So,
all right. So you asked me about a good day to put the house on the market, right?
Thursday.
Do you know when the best day to have a garage sale is?
No, I don't.
It's Thursday,
Aha.
Friday, Saturday.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. And so a lot of people really want to, this is a great tip. A lot of people want to clean up the house, and they just, after the last couple of years, they just need to get rid of some stuff to feel fresh, clean, more vibrant because they've been stuck at home. And now they've organized and reorganized the house and made room for the home office and all this stuff. And so if you're not a garage sale person, don't just throw the stuff away, because there's somebody that can use it. And so a lot of people don't know about this Facebook group. It's called Buy Nothing. It's on Facebook. So it's Buy Nothing Egan, Buy Nothing Eden Prairie, whatever your city is, right? And it's the beautiful thing because you can only give or ask. You can't sell anything, and you put it on there and you put a picture and you say give, and you I mean, I've seen a roll of wrapping paper on there, for crying out loud. Like it doesn't matter what it is. There's somebody that it's their treasure.
That's right. It'll be their treasure.
It'll be their treasure. And what a great way to recycle and not throw away. And I mean, it's, I don't know. I put some books on there. I'm going to put a couple of cushions on there. We've got
flooring coming up.
Yeah, great. Some flooring from a project we had here, and
extra cases unopened. We just, what do you do with it? So we're just going to give it away.
Right, because it's just taking up space. And then the other day, I'm getting ready for this big party, right? So I need to like laminate some stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have these printer cartridges in here. Like, what am I going to do with these printer cartridges? We don't have those printers anymore. Like, these are ancient printers, right? But somebody might have them. And so I'm going to put the printer cartridges on there. And so it doesn't matter what it is. You can only belong to one, which is your city. So you can only belong to your city. And, my girlfriends are like, yours is way better than mine and all this stuff. But it is a great way to.
Here's just a thought. It just came to my mind.
Okay, all right.
Now. So if you say, for example, you live in Bloomington and you like the Egan Free Facebook group better, but you live in Bloomington. A simple solution would be move.
Right.
Move from Blooming to Egan. We'd be happy to help you.
Right.
And we'll sit down, talk to you, this afternoon, no cost and absolutely no obligation, just to see how that works out.
We had a great Zoom with a nice couple yesterday. Really looking forward to hearing from them again. And so we got some notes in the section here. So Peggy, thanks for the referral, as they do have a mold lady coming later today to do an assessment. And yes, she has had garage sales. Wednesdays are the day now? Well, geez, I just Googled that. Is Google ever wrong?
I don't know. No, never wrong.
Right?
Neither.
Yeah. So, and the other thing with garage sales is if it's overwhelming for you, right? Get together with a girlfriend.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, we borrow tables, and so we got a lot of tables. We'll borrow them to you, and so do it collectively and have fun with it. And the only thing I say with garage sales is plan. There's some things you don't need to plan for, but I would say plan for a garage sale.
Well, of course.
Well,
you got to get it posted so everybody knows it.
Right, but I know, but a lot of people don't plan on what they're going to put in the garage sale. Okay. They're just going to set up the garage sale, and then they're just going to throw the stuff out there. When if they would have taken maybe just a little bit of time to go through the house and clean out that dresser that's got all those t-shirts that you don't want, and literally think about each area of the house and go through it so that you have your stuff to price. And you get done with the garage sale, you're going to feel good because you really got rid of the stuff that you wanted to get rid of anyway. But if you all of a sudden are like, oh my gosh, I just have to throw some stuff out there, and you still are going to not feel that great because you didn't plan and really think about what you wanted to do.
I could add that at the garage sale.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of thing. Now, I love garage sales, right? So
I like looking.
Yeah, I do too. So
I don't like buying.
Post. Okay, so we always love you to comment, share, follow, post. So post what your favorite item is that you got at a garage sale. You want to know what mine is?
No.
Which you absolutely love.
What is it?
That big, huge silver cookie sheet tray. That big, huge one that you always put the turkey on every year.
Oh, really? That was a garage sale there?
That was a garage sale item.
Oh, I thought we got it from the restaurant.
No, that was way before the restaurant days. Oh. I came home with this huge tray, and he's just like,
it's the same ones we use at the restaurant.
What are you doing with that? What are you gonna do with that? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. This might be right up there. Those white table coverings, the cloth ones that I use in the summer and all of our activities. Sure. Yeah. Well, those were sheets. Okay. So somebody had made them to fit a round patio table. And so that was one of probably my favorite finds as well. Mm-hmm. So get out there, have a garage sale, right? Because it's always good to freshen up the house. And now that doesn't mean you have to go out and buy all new stuff.
No.
Right. Okay. Let's not go there. It's just to clean, organize, feel good, and who knows, make a couple extra bucks.
Now, Easter is coming up, so remember that a lot of the businesses will be closed early on Friday, which is Good Friday. In honoring that, a lot of the banks are closing early and such. It may be a little bit difficult if you're thinking about going out and looking at houses this weekend. You're going to get refused some of the showings because they've got family over
and they're prepping, so a couple of days before,
Right.
So Friday, cooking and cleaning and all of that. Yep.
So normally this is going to be a slow week. We're running, we have reruns running for both radio shows, so that because the station's actually closed on Good Friday, we couldn't record one if we wanted to. So just keep that in mind. Have a great and wonderful Easter this weekend. Celebrate with family. We're going to have an Easter egg hunt here at the house on the grounds. Fun stuff to watch those kids come tearing out the door after the Easter eggs on Easter Sunday morning.
All right.
All right, that's it for this week.
Be well, be blessed. Share this, contact us, and what's our 4 elements? You didn't cover it today.
Well, the 4 elements, of course, of a healthy home are the home, the building itself, the real estate side of things. Then it's the ecosystem. That's all the stuff that's inside, the air you breathe, the chemicals you use to clean, all of that that's inside the house. Then there's your body. That's what the senior moment is all about, doing your push-ups, sit-ups, deep knee bends each and every day so you get to be strong like senior. And then it's your mental and spiritual wellness. Think of it as 4 wheels on a vehicle. You can't run a race with a flat tire. So if any one of those elements are out of whack or under stress, you're going to have a little problem and you're not going to have as healthy a home as you could have. So that's our healthy home moment.
Got it. All right. Have a blessed Easter. We'll see you next week.